What's up, everybody? It's 8 o'clock on Tuesday, so you know what time it is. It is time for
HauntScene.
HauntScene Live. So, as always, I'm your host, Johnny Bronto, and with me, the lovely, the talented, the senior editor at Tricycle Monthly. We've got the lovely.
Yes. Hi, guys. It's Melissa.
So I think we had a long haunt weekend. I'm still kind of recovering.
We had a very long weekend.
Yeah.
At least I did.
So
It's going to be another long week.
yes, it is.
But a fun week.
But a
fun week. It's worth it.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. The haunt season's totally worth it. All right, so as you guys saw earlier, I had a little splash screen up here. I'm going to bring this back up. This episode is brought to you by the state27homes.com website. This is going to be your resource if you want to look for properties in Central Florida. This actually pulls from the MLS, which is the real estate directory here in Central Florida, every 5 minutes. So you get all that freshly squeezed information. It's got a good place to search for residential rentals, all kinds of stuff. Great tools for consumers. If you guys would do me a favor, follow them on social media at State27Homes for Twitter. And then if you want to give them a like on Facebook, that would be really, really cool. So thank you to State27 for sponsoring this episode. And go use that tool. It's got a lot of good stuff in there. All right, so we are gonna start here. So hello.
Hey, guys.
I am so excited too. I'm glad that you
I'm
guys get a
super
chance to join us.
Hi, Tina.
Hello.
It was nice to meet you the other night.
It was very nice.
Thank you for
We
scaring
had a
the
really
crap
really
out
good
of me.
time. So we're going to get started here now. I've got the chat actually working today, which is pretty impressive. So we can see the chat as it comes in.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool.
That's so fancy.
All right. And let's go ahead and talk about how was your weekend?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. I had an absolute blast this past weekend trying out my first two independent haunts in Florida.
That's right.
First time for Shallow Grave and first time for Chamber of Terror.
Wow.
And
you
yep,
made it.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I popped my independent haunt cherry
Whoa.
this weekend.
All right.
So
All right. So yeah, it was her. She went for the first time. Now I've been going to the Shallow Grave for years. I missed their opening year, but I've been every year since. And then man, my dog's going nuts right now.
I know.
Hopefully you guys can't hear that.
Hopefully you can't hear Cody
Yeah,
in the back.
and I've got my dog in
I
another
feel
room
so
with the
bad
TV
for her.
on. No, it's all right.
Poor
We'll
little
take care of
guy.
it. All right. So we're going to get started here talking about the Shallow Grave. Now, the Shallow Grave, we're going to do a little slideshow of some images there. Talk about our experience at the Shallow Grave. At the end of this segment, we are going to be giving away 2 tickets to the Shallow Grave. So thank you to Joe Phillips for giving us 2 tickets to give away on the show. Very excited. I did get a chance to do this. I actually did this on Friday and Saturday this week. I took a little early trip up with Shelby. Now, Shelby, who was on the show last week, she's actually in California right now, and she did Not Scary Farm. She did a Disneyland. She did Halloween Horror Nights out there, so I'm sure she'll have some feedback for that. Yeah, so she'll be back tomorrow. All right, so as always, we appreciate your support. We thank you for watching the show. We really, really appreciate it. If you guys have any comments, go ahead and put them in the chat or any questions or anything. I'll go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the Shallow Grave. Shallow Grave, if you look here at the bottom left, you're going to see the calendar for this year. They've got some different color-coded days. This is going to show the hours that they're available. In yellow, these are going to be what are called the Feargasm nights. So you pay one price and you get unlimited re-entry into Shallow Grave, which is a really, really good deal. Now, Shallow Grave, it's especially important that you do the Shallow Grave this year because it's going to be their final season, at least in the Winter Haven location where they've been for the last few years. So this has always been on our must-do list, so make sure you go out and experience this here. And I had a really good time.
I did too. I can't wait to start talking about it.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
So they're in Winter Haven, 701 42nd Northwest in Winter Haven, in Florida, 33884. If you put the address in your GPS, it'll take you right to it. You can go to theshallowgrave.com to buy your tickets if you want to. You can also buy them at the door there as well. Don't miss this one. Just don't. This is going to be one of those things where if you miss it, everybody's going to be talking about it in the next few years, and you're going to be that guy or girl that missed it. So make sure you put this one on your list here. We've got a couple images that we want to share with you, but first, and this kind of goes along with the shallow grave area, is I do want to incorporate some other things you can do in the area, and we've become a pretty big fan of the Big Tom's Diner, which is right around the corner from the shallow grave. It's like 5-10 minutes away, and this place is awesome. We've been going
The place
a lot.
is great. Yep.
Yeah. And then here's, I believe the guy's name is Manny. He's one of the managers there. I always see him in there. And we go in with our gear. People ask us if we're like ghost hunters or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
I got to give
investigators.
I know, right? I got to give a shout out to Big Tom's. The food's excellent. I've
Great,
I've never had anything bad there, and everything's reasonably priced. So it's so weird going from like a theme park and having everything be $20 to, being able
Like
to
$5.
Yeah, it's really cheap, really cheap, and they give you a lot of food.
You get a lot of food.
And on top of that, like at the end of the night, they walk around and just like give you breadsticks and stuff. It's crazy. So it's really, really good. I would highly recommend Big Tom's. So if you guys get a chance to experience Big Tom's, please let us know that you went and enjoy it. Tell them that HauntScene sent you. We actually have business cards up at front when they're not being covered up by some other business. Wherever. But yeah, Big Tom's Diner, here's the address right here. Put this on your list. And very importantly, they do take cards. There was another diner that we used to frequent in Winter Haven. I'm not going to name it, but they only take cash. So, all right. So it's 2017.
I know. It's this 21st century. Come on.
Yeah. Take cards.
cards.
You don't want my money.
Yeah.
All right. So go in there, enjoy Big Tom's. But let's get into the shallow grave. Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to back up to, here's a very quick map. Now, if you go to theshallowgrave.com, you're going to see everything you need to know about the haunt. You'll see the directions here. This is just a very quick screen capture that I did showing where the shallow grave is, kind of relevant to the Tampa, Lakeland area and the Orlando area. So think of it kind of halfway between Orlando and Lakeland, and it's south of I-4. It's actually really easy to get to. Personally, when I didn't live in Davenport and Polk County where I lived, I would get off exit 48 and just head south, and it'll almost take you right there. It's very, very easy to find. So make sure you hit up the website for details, or ask us. We'll make sure you get there. Okay. All right. So Big Tom's. Here is one of the characters, and this is probably one of my favorite characters you're going to see running around at the shallow grave. This particular picture that we showed on the left was taken at the Tampa Bay Comic Con, which you were at.
I was in SuperCon.
Yeah, you were at SuperCon here. So I unfortunately, and I don't know if it was the night we went because it was raining like crazy when we went. I don't know if I was just apprehensive about doing the haunt or something like that, but I just did not take as many pictures as I should have. And there are lots of really cool, cute characters running around. There's the nurse.
There's the nurse. The lovely nurse.
The lovely nurse.
Which gave me a shout out when I was there.
Yeah.
Which I was
not
surprised
me
about.
though. She's like,
She was
whatever,
like, Johnny. Hi,
Johnny
Melissa.
Bronto, Haunt Ginger, shove you out of the way. I love Melissa from HauntScene.
Yeah, she was great. And she scared me many times actually, which was great. So.
And then they have the little one.
They have the little girl.
Like the little girl that's like this tall. And she
that's saying to stay away from the nurse.
Yeah,
she was great.
Yeah, the nurse apparently killed her.
And she was like, "Stay away from the nurse. She's bad." But I didn't think she was. I didn't think the nurse was bad because she gave me a hug.
Oh.
So I thought she was really nice.
I don't know, man.
So.
So.
And then they had the clown with the popper.
Yeah, the clown.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see all kinds of characters running around. They've got a slider there. That's one of the guys that wears knee pads and slides on the ground.
And Ted, the walker.
You got it. Oh, we've got the Walking Ted coming.
We got the Walking Ted.
You cannot have an episode of HauntScene about the shallow grave without the Walking Ted.
Without the Walking Ted. Ted was awesome.
Ted is awesome.
Ted was awesome.
So the slider they have, he actually, a lot of times they have like metal knee pads. This guy had like plastic knee pads, but he had these like claws that like made sparks as he slid, and he's scaring the everything out of everybody. So that was really cool. So the outside experience at the shallow grave has got a lot going on this year. Now, if you take a look at the right, and I didn't get great pictures, they got a brand new sign that changes colors. It's very cool. They had a hearse parked out when we went, and they had all these little like photo ops there of like a little,
which unfortunately weren't running because it was raining.
Yeah,
which I was sad about because I really wanted to see them up and running. So.
Yeah, I got to see them on Friday when I went, but it rained on Saturday night when we went. But there's all kinds of stuff to take pictures. There's vendors out there if you want to get some food, all kinds of stuff. There's There's like an outhouse, a midway, coffins. There's all kinds of things to take a picture in front of. So you've got things to do instead of just doing the haunt and going home. There's a couple things to keep you there a little bit longer. But remember that Feargasm Pass, because if you spend a little bit more money, you've got unlimited reentry, and I think that's totally worth it. Yep. All right, so moving on here, slideshow wise, and I gotta kind of remember that we're actually covering 2 haunts in this episode. So when we get to the midpoint of the episode, we're gonna switch over and talk about the Chamber of Terror here. So awesome job by these characters, did a great job. I love the interaction.
Oh, they were great.
Can't beat that. Yep. Really good. Both of the haunts here, it's 2 haunts for one price. I believe it's $25, $24.99 plus tax and fees. So if you can order them online or get them at the door, totally worth it. I mean, Shallow Grave has really raised the bar for haunts here in Central Florida.
That phobia house really got me.
Yeah.
You literally had to hold me through.
Yeah, I did. We'll get to that. All right, so there are 2 houses here. Returning is Paver Nocturnus, the house on the right, or Night Terrors. That's the one we went through first.
Yeah.
And then there, the new house, or the mostly redone house, or it's got a big chunk of it redone, is going to be the Betrayal House, which will be the house on the left. So we're going to talk about Paver Nocturnus first. So let me get my slideshow going. All right, and what'd you think of this one? We did this one first, the one on the right.
We did. Except for the giant scary spiders that absolutely terrified me because I have a huge arachnophobia. Other than that, I liked it.
Yeah, there's phobias. There is basically something for everybody as far as phobias go.
Yep. Oh, it definitely, that first room definitely got me.
Yeah.
So.
Joe.
Props to you, Shallow Grave.
Joe had the first room in the Paver Nocturnus house, and it's a spider cave. And it's got like all kinds of animatronic spiders and all this stuff here. So if you're not into spiders, I will admit, Joe, I don't know how he did this, but he actually like made it worse. He made it worse on you, like not worse like quality wise, but like it's scarier now. He a couple things, a little bit of feedback that I given him previously is it just didn't seem like that area was a lot going on. But he put some characters in there. He changed some effects. It's like a strobe effect, which makes it just terrifying, which really added a new element to that first room. So if you haven't been to the Shallow Grave recently, it has changed. So I got good stuff in there, and you see this picture here. The one character on the left is an animatronic that talks to you when you go in and get you warmed up for the Shallow Grave. Although I still can't for the life of me recall what he says. I think I'm just too terrified.
I was too like focused on the haunt, like getting scared by the spiders. I couldn't focus on them.
So in the first part, she had to keep her eyes closed through the whole thing.
He had to physically hold me as I closed my eyes. Hold me. Because it literally traumatized me.
And in the the snakes. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
The snakes were cool. The snakes were really. They would slither at you and move at you too when you were walking through the house.
Yeah, the snakes were really cool. I don't know, and I didn't get a chance to really go into depth with Joe after this when I talked to him afterwards. I don't know what it is about the Shallow Grave this year, but going through it, both houses, they feel like angry. Like you're going through and like I don't know if everything just wasn't always working or if some things were working and some things weren't, but it seems like every possible effect, every trigger, everything, like it was like a nonstop assault throughout the entire house. So I don't think I've ever described a haunted attraction as like angry before, but that house is out to get you.
It was aggressive.
Yeah, it was really out to get you.
None of us know what it says, but it's in Latin.
Paver Nocturnus is Night Terrors, if you look it up. Right. I should actually be paying attention to the chat. Okay, hey, what's up, everybody watching? Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna come back to this in a bit, but continuing to talk about the Paver Nocturnus house. Do I have anything else in here? That's the other one. We'll come back to that. Sorry, I put this slideshow together in like a blur earlier because I was running out of time. But Paver Nocturnus, it's got everything. It's got voodoo. It's got like redneck Polk County gone wrong.
It's got like
bodies, evil cabins, and all kinds of stuff. One of the things that you're going to get out of the Shallow Grave that you're not going to get, I think, a lot out of, well, maybe because some of the hunts we haven't done yet, but the use of smell in the Shallow Grave is like really good. every year I've gone afterwards, about an hour or two afterwards, I can still smell it in my nostrils. Yeah, so it's
I still smell that rotten smell.
yeah,
of
it
the
just
bodies,
gets
yeah.
on you, like gets in your clothes. It's just yeah. So you get to take a piece of the shallow grave home with you over in there. Okay. It's got like a asylum. It's got a military complex, zombies. It's got all kinds of stuff
It's got
going
everything.
on. Yeah, you got
tweak your fear.
something for everybody at the shallow grave. They're gonna find out something that you are afraid of, and something's gonna get you. I've been through the house multiple times. I went through the house multiple times last year. I've been going for years, and it still found a way to. Even though I thought I knew where the scares were coming from, they still got me. You didn't know any better.
I was in front, so I didn't really know. I didn't really know.
I was in
what you were
back, and they
doing
were
back
still getting me.
there. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Were you scared of anything in the house?
Yeah, dude. Scared of people
everything?
jumping out and getting me. Yep. And not a big spoiler or anything, but at some part you walk through the house and a giant creature's going to come out and get you.
Yep.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, but
I was able to pass through before it came out.
Yeah,
so.
that I knew to avoid, so I like ducked and rolled,
Yeah.
kind of like Captain Kirk. It was like, but that you'll know it when you see it. It's the shallow grave. That particular house is very famous for that. But it's really good. I still love the ending. I love the ending to Paver Nocturnus, the padded cell you end up with the craziness. What did you think of the last room without giving away too much?
That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was intense.
It's crazy
That was
to look
intense.
at. Yeah, it's almost too much. It's like your brain can't process it.
A lot going on in one room. I can tell you that.
A lot going on. So, very good. I love the house. There are some small tweaks. Joe and his crew, Dwayne, everybody, they focused more on revamping the betrayal house, but they did put some new things in the other house as well. And there are two houses, and then Joe in this big huge warehouse where the shallow grave is. He's got like a third area with like his workshop or storage area and everything, and I'm still convinced that he just basically emptied all that out and put it into the haunt, because that may or may not be true, but that's actually what it feels like, because there's just so much going on. And
so much stuff to look at.
Yeah, it's
a lot to distract you.
Yes.
To get scares, which I like. So distractions are the best.
The timing of the characters was really good.
I did, yeah. I think we had a great run through of both houses.
I would agree.
So
I think Friday when I went, I think they were warming up a little bit, but I do think that the scares are spread out evenly. Now, here's the thing with independent haunts. Unlike a theme park haunt, like let's say Halloween Horror Nights, they're not going to herd you through in one big long, what we call a conga line. They're going to pulse the line, which means they only put in one group every 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or whatever. So you should get all fresh scares when you go through the haunt. And I wish Horror Nights could find a way to do that.
I know.
I just have no idea how they would do it with the crowds that come
because
through.
I like it better when it's just your group.
Yeah.
You guys are the only ones getting the scares.
And it's kind of funny when they do pulse the line, because you are either moving so slow because you're so scared that people catch up to you, or you're moving so fast because you're scared and you're catching up to somebody else.
Yep.
So you may, even though they do break up the groups and you get those fresh scares, you may bump into a group or have somebody, bump into you afterwards. But characters were on point in this house. I can't say enough.
They were great.
Keep in mind, with the shallow grave, there is a possibility of you getting wet. There's a possibility of you getting touched. There's a possibility of you what else?
Getting smell stuck in your nose.
Yeah, getting scent stuck in your nose.
Scent stuck in your nose.
Yeah. So
wet, touched, scents. Yeah.
Yeah. All the senses are taken care of. So, I was very, very, very impressed with the house. Like I said, I've been going through it for a couple years, but still, Joe finds new ways to scare the crap out of me. So thank you. Got to put this one on your list. Shallow Grave's amazing. No, I did not.
Peeing yourself?
Yes. I did not pee myself.
Yep. Scared.
I did not.
Scared.
But I guess there is a chance of that happening.
That is a very, especially someone like it catch them off guard when they don't know they're going to get touched.
Yeah. For people that don't frequent haunts like we do,
Yeah.
let's say like I do, because you're still getting used
Yep.
to the independent haunts. You know, come prepared, man. Do mentally prepared. Get
It's
psyched up.
intense. It's
Now,
intense.
every once in a while there is an exit. So if it is too intense for you, and it's gonna be for some people, you have the ability to exit into the egress whenever you want, I guess. But this girl's not allowed to quit.
I am not allowed to do
part
that,
of the
unfortunately.
agreement of her
Even
being on
though
HauntScene.
there were certain points in that house that I really wanted to, but I didn't. I kept going.
We don't quit.
We don't quit. We're not quitters.
All right, we're not quitters.
We're not quitters.
All right, so Pattern Nocturnus, amazing, good job. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next house, which is gonna
Other than
be
the spiders, I would say good job in that house.
the Betrayal House. Betrayal House here. This is gonna be the house on the left. When you come in, I would personally, I mean, they're both amazing, but if you've been to the Shallow Grave before, make sure you do Pattern Nocturnus first, and then wrap up with Betrayal. That's what I would recommend. It's what I did on both nights, just because it's new and I want to see the new stuff last. Now, if you go to the Shallow Grave website, it's going to give you a little backstory on the Betrayal House, but basically some of the main character, Thaddeus's relatives have started like an uprising to kind of take over the Van Buren estate or whatever you want to call it here. So there's conflict in the house, which is really, really cool. And you don't actually see that a lot in storylines for houses, like characters actually going at it. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Betrayal House is really, really good. If you look on the right, and this picture doesn't do it justice, the character on the right here is going to be Atticus Van Buren. And I will probably go ahead and say that this is probably I'm just going to go ahead and say this is the most impressive character I've ever seen in a haunt ever. Like his prosthetics and the mask and the hump and the haunch and the outfit, it's really impressive. And this picture kind of gives you an idea, but when you see him walking around in like flesh and blood, like right in front of you, it'll blow you away. So whoever put that together, I don't know if it was Tom or whoever was involved with that, a very good job with the Atticus character. Don't really want to spoil the ending for you, but it's something you're not going to see in haunts every day. Very, very cool. I would probably guesstimate that Joe did about maybe let's say a third, maybe a little bit more of the haunt. I apologize if that's a bad estimate, but the beginning is all new because you actually take a different path now. This one got really scared right off the bat in this.
I did.
So what happened?
Okay. So when we first entered the house, without giving anything away, first entered the house and there was one zombie, right? In that room, there was one zombie. And I looked off to my right. I got distracted. I looked off to the right to see if anybody else was coming because I was so scared. And when I turned back to the left, she jumps out of the car, comes in my direction to scare me, and literally body checks into me. Literally into me. Yeah. And I thought it was epic. It was probably the coolest scare I've ever gotten in my entire life. And that was awesome. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it because she was just ran right into me to scare me.
Nice.
And I absolutely loved it.
So full contact horror.
Huh?
Full contact horror.
Full contact scare. I loved it.
So instead of going through the house facade like you've going to be going through for years, you actually take a left and cut through a garden area. And then what's really cool about this house is instead of walking through the rooms, you're actually walking in between the walls and you get to see where all the bodies are stored. You're walking under things. There's plaster and all kinds of stuff. It's like walking through a horror movie. It's actually walking through better than a horror movie because you're actually walking through it. It's very, very cool. There was one room, and I don't think I've ever seen a concentration of as many bodies in one room that I've ever seen than at the Shallow Grave. The one with all the hanging bodies and things on the walls.
Yes. Yep. That was a lot.
That was crazy.
Yep. That was intense.
You'll know it when you see it. And then I think I've described the Shallow Grave as like Polk County gone wrong.
Well, I said, very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive
house.
Characters are aggressive.
Yep.
Effects are aggressive. It was very, very, like I said, the house just seemed mad. It was just out to get you.
It was
a lot
good.
of high energy in the house.
I've never been through an aggressive house like that before, so that was my first time, and I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
So.
Did Johnny take off his shirt this year? Have I taken off my shirt previously?
Have you taken off your shirt?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You'll have to follow up with that. All right, so yeah, the shallow grave's amazing. Let's see what else we got here. Just a couple pictures, just to kind of give you a couple, just an idea of what's going on with this. You've got a close up of Atticus. You've got a very special surprise in the Paver Nocturnus at the house, like the delivery scene. I guess we'll just call it that. Good luck avoiding that because it's based on like lasers and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought, me being like, Mr. like haunt, guy now, and I've done all this stuff. I'm still learning a lot about the industry and some of the effects they use. And I really thought that like a lot of it was like somebody like watching you go through the house and like triggering these effects. But it's like so high tech now. It's lasers and things you cross and whatever, and it just makes it all the better. All right, so I do have to give a shout out to Scott Finster. Scott Finster, famous from Face Off. If you want to hit him up on Twitter or follow him, just look for Scott's Toy Box.
I got the chance to meet him. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, Scott's really
super cool. So,
and
if Scott's watching, hi Scott, thank you.
Here's a shot of him doing. He was recently, even though it was recorded months ago, he's recently on a Face Off. I forget what it was called, but it was the night of the first episode that we did because we watched it. But here's him working, and then at the bottom left, like I said, you can't talk about the Shallow Grave without talking about the Walking Ted. So he's walking around, probably the most impressive zombie I think I've ever seen up close. He's so good.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's a great
really
zombie.
Good zombie.
Yeah.
Good job, Ted.
All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and do our ticket giveaway. We're about at the halfway point of the episode, but I have to give Shallow Grave 2 thumbs up. Make sure you go out and do that one this year. Remember, it's going to be their last year. So go ahead and put this one on your list. Don't miss this one. Make sure you go out and do the Shallow Grave in Winter Haven. All right,
it's definitely a must-see. Definitely.
Ticket giveaway. So we got 2 general admission passes to the Shallow Grave. Now, you can't live in Alaska. You need to be somewhere where I can get these to you in the haunt season. All right. So you've got 2 tickets here for the Shallow Grave, so you can go and experience what we experienced and enjoy yourself. And we're going to ask you for a keyword. What keyword should we use? You can pick this one. Pick of a keyword that everybody can spell.
Okay.
That is relevant to the Shallow Grave.
Relevant to the Shallow Grave. Ooh, shovel.
Shovel. All right.
Shovel.
First person to put the word shovel in the chat for the for YouTube right here is going to win a pair of passes to the Shallow Grave. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to my main screen here because we can see when it comes in. All right, it just came in here. So Addison Marrero, you're going to be our winner here.
Addison.
And it'll pop up right there. There it is. Addison Marrero just beat Elar just by a hair. All right, so Addison, please email HauntScene@gmail.com or tweet us or text us or get a hold of us. Send a message to us on Facebook. We'll get your details. We'll get you these passes. Hopefully you're out doing haunt stuff, so maybe we can meet up and even better and get these to you sooner. So thank you for watching. We still have another pair of tickets to give away for the Chamber of Terror. Man, my dog's going nuts.
He's going crazy in there.
Cody's just going crazy. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. I don't know.
I don't know if they can hear.
I hope not. My
can
dog's going nuts in the other room. All right. So thank you guys for that, and we're gonna move on to the Chamber of Terror. Okay, so we're at the halfway point of the episode. Yes, definitely put Addison on your list. Shallow Grave. Put them on your hit list.
Addison
go and get them. All right, so we're gonna move on to Chamber of Terror. Now, Chamber of Terror and Shallow Grave are doing like a combo ticket thing, or at least they were. And they're doing a little cross promotion this year. And Chamber of Terror has been around for a while, but they've been on the ship behind the aquarium in Florida Aquarium in Tampa last season and this season as well. And they've made many changes. So if you look at the bottom left here is their hours. They are going to be available on some Thursdays. It looks like coming up in a couple weeks. So maybe you can hit up on a weeknight. Chamber of Terror is awesome. Now, hopefully you guys got an opportunity to see our live stream that we did when we were in the depths of the ship. And I actually have a little clip from that because I want to show something spooky that happened to us when we were in there based upon the review. Okay. All right. Okay, so all right, Chamber of Terror. Let's go ahead and move forward a little bit. Here is just a very quick map. This is in Tampa, so it's going to be east of 275. It's going to be south of I-4. Very easy to find if you take the Selman Expressway. It's right behind the Florida Aquarium, or if you put in the American Victory ship in your GPS, you can get to it right away. Easy to find if you use your GPS, but you just look for the Florida Aquarium. So this is in Tampa, and I made a little map last year, which I'm going to bring back this year because you can't park at the haunt because there isn't a lot of parking there that's reserved for like the characters and the people that run Chamber of Terror. But there is a parking structure right across the street from the Florida Aquarium where you can go in and park. And we were there. We were there a couple hours, and I think it was like $3. Yeah, it was pretty cheap. So Chamber of Terror, very easy to park. It's a very short walk. I believe they had a sign that said haunted ship.
Yes.
Yeah, a huge banner that says
right
haunted
outside
ship.
before you walk in.
Yeah, so you can find it really, really quick. So just make sure to park in the parking structure. If you're familiar with the channel side area, it's right around that. Lots of places to go eat if you want to go out a little bit earlier. Oh, by the way, one last thing with Big Tom's is they do close at 7. So make sure you're in there by like 6 because sometimes a little bit of a wait. And then that way you can do that before Shell Grave. I had to mention that because I don't want people showing up like late, not be able to get in.
Yeah.
All right. Chamber of Terror is awesome. I got a chance to go out to their media event that was last Thursday. So I got a chance to do like a little preview of it with some other media folks. It is Florida's only nautical attraction. Ronnie in the chat just mentioned that he just did the Queen Mary, which I believe is another haunted attraction or nautical haunted attraction somewhere else. I don't know where the Queen Mary is, but I've heard a lot of good things about that. So maybe
It's the first nautical haunt I've ever done. Like a haunted house on a ship. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And he sent me a picture. I can't really share it with you, but it said it's time to get naughty, like Nauti, like naughty for nautical. Yep. So very, very cool. You may see some interesting marketing coming out from the Chamber of Terror. So 705 Channelside Drive in Tampa, chamberofterrorfl.com. They're on, you can go to their website. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. If you want to go ahead and get a hold of them, very, very easy to find. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on here to Chamber of Terror. Now, the ship is just probably the best facade you're ever going to see as far as the ship goes.
It's really cool. It's all lit up.
Yeah, ship's all lit up. I got some creepy music playing outside.
Lots of sounds going on.
Yep. Got some characters running around. Lots of cute characters to not necessarily interact with you. Maybe interact with you by like scare you. We'll talk about that in a moment. Very, very cool. It's very impressive. It's almost a little overwhelming because you're like, wow, this ship is huge. I can walk around the ship for an entire day, which you can during the day if you want to do the daytime tour for the American Victory. You can go in and do that here. Large projection, Chamber of Terror. It's all on there if you want to. They put out a bunch of promo images here, sandbags. We got a couple that we took here as well. Very, very good. And then let's talk about the haunt. Let's talk about the haunt itself. Okay. So when we went on Saturday, we did the Shallow Grave, and then we drove out to Tampa, and then we did the Chamber of Terror. Now we had Jake with us actually, so I want to give a shout out to Jake. I think he's watching right now. Hi, Jake. Yes, hi, Jake. So Jake got to join us for both haunts. So that was really, really cool.
Thank you for joining us.
Unfortunately, that night, a couple other local haunts, Sir Henry's and Sink, got rained out that night because it was raining like crazy, and they were actually at the haunt, so we got to do the haunt with that big group. So that was actually really fun to hang out with them outside of the haunt scene. Hey-o. All right, so got a couple pictures here just to show you. You're on a ship, so if you ever seen any sort of old Navy movie or anything like that, you know, they got all these thresholds, all these like hatches you got to walk through and everything. Lighting is really good when there is lighting because some of it's super dark.
I mean, one hallway we went through towards the end, remember that? It was pitch black.
Pitch black. Yep. Yeah. So I want to roll this clip. Now, if you get a chance to see our live stream a couple weeks ago, we did a live stream from within the ship. We gave away a bunch of tickets, and it worked out really well. But when you watch this clip, and it's about 30 seconds long, I want you to watch as we walk into probably the creepiest part of the whole ship. Watch for the white flashes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and watch this video. I'm going to turn off our mics for a moment and check this out.
You can't hear it. Jack, your dad.
What? Jake?
Your dad. No, your dad. He can't hear it.
All right, so my dog is freaking out. So I'm gonna go take care of him real quick while we play this clip. All right, so we're gonna take a little peek here. This is the creepiest part of the ship, which is gonna be the cooler here. I don't think I want to go in there, but in here, in this part, is where they actually like transported the bodies.
Are you okay?
So we're not gonna go all the way in there at all, but we're here in the depths of it. So that's actually where they did some cold storage and brought some bodies back here, because this is an actual ship that was used. Yep. All right. So if you were watching that clip right there, you'll see that there were just some white flashes, and I originally thought that was just her camera light going off, but then I realized watching that video again, and I have like the whole stream uploaded on YouTube if you want to watch it. That does not happen throughout the whole stream. It's only when we're in certain spots there. And Courtney and Bradley, the people that are, well, Courtney, owns or runs the haunt, and then Bradley helps him out. They've told us a bunch of stories about just crazy stuff with like water and footprints and all this nuts stuff. So you are probably walking into a very, very haunted location here in the ship. This is a World War II ship. This is something they used to transport bodies back from World War II. So lots of stuff going on. So good luck.
Double the haunted, real haunt.
You get a haunted haunt.
You get a haunt within a haunt.
Yeah. So good luck with that. All right. We're gonna move on here and just take a look here. Lots of hallways, lots of long hallways, lots of little portholes to look from. The path is pretty clear. You can't really get lost in the ship, but remember, it is multi-level. You're going to be going up and down and through the ship using ship ladders and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so it's wear, as we always say, wear closed-toed shoes. Don't wear high heels. Don't wear flip-flops. And just take your time. And you're going to take your time because it's going to take a solid 20 minutes at least to get through this whole thing. It's one big, really long haunt here. So yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to a couple pictures here. Now, these are actually some screen caps that I took from a video on the press night here. So I turned around in one part. You can see how just boxed in the sandbags are when you're walking through them. And then probably...
It actually is really close in when you walk through it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very
really, really here. Now, when we went through it when I went through it on the press night, it was lit and the lights are kind of going on and off or whatever. But when we did it the other night, it was like pitch black in there to get through there. So I think the lights were like the timing was off.
Yeah, because I was walking through that area right there with the sandbags, and I kept feeling something on me, and then he pops out of the right and just scares the crap out of me. Right. So a lot going on in that room.
Yeah, a lot going on in that room. Yep. All right, so and also one of my favorite characters here, which is the drill person.
Oh, that's the one that scared the crap out of me. She lunged at me, and then we went around, and the hanging bodies. I kind of put the body near the window.
You get like a double scare with that. But this is you go through, you get to interact with some of the characters. One of our favorites, Bubba, was in there.
I love Bubba.
It's nice to get some continuity when you go through haunts and people remember you.
It really is.
So that was cool.
Bubba, you're great.
He's
Bubba.
the janitor.
I like Bubba.
So that was fun. All right, so all kinds of stuff here. Here's a couple pictures. We'll actually talk about the haunt here. I just want to show like the ambiance of it here. Here's Captain Berwick. Here's one of the nurses that made her drop her phone.
Oh, outside. She did. Yeah, she gave me a good scare. She came up next to me, and when I noticed her, I kind of fumbled my phone.
Yeah, she's just like this in her phone.
I was just scared,
and she just dropped her phone right on the ground.
It was good. It was good though. It was a good scare. Great job to her. She did a good job. She scared the crap out of me.
Did do a good job.
Yeah.
So here's Jake with Melissa, picture in front of the Chamber of Terror.
It's Jake and I. Hey, Jake.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about the haunt itself. Now that we've seen the ambiance of it, what'd you think of the Chamber of Terror?
I thought the Chamber of Terror was great. It was terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It really is. And then that one long dark hallway when I was first leading, I was terrified to go down there because it was so dark. And then they had the guy in the middle coming at you, so you had nowhere to go but in front of him. Right. So it was terrifying. It was good. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Yep.
Very, very good. Big changes if you've done it before. Vast majority of this is different. So if you went last year, go again. Very, very cool. Remember, you're walking through the ship. very dark, very cramped. At some point, you get into the weather deck, which is the main deck of the ship, and there you take a breath of fresh air. You're like, I get a break, and then the characters start coming out at you right on the weather deck. And I think you go up like 2 or 3 levels up and down throughout the ship.
I like how you go in from inside to outside. You're literally just going all around the ship.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
very
thought that's
cool.
great.
Yeah, it kind of keeps you on your toes because you're in different environments for that.
Oh, and that's that one scene with Bubba. Did you see that girl on the ground who did the back?
Oh,
the
I
back
did.
bend. I mean, she went all the way back in front of us.
Yeah,
it kind of freaked me out.
I couldn't do that. I would hurt myself.
Yeah, me too. That was pretty neat. That was pretty cool.
So very, very long haunt, very, very scary. Shallow Grave, Chamber Terror, definitely 2 of the scariest that we've done so far. Put them on your list.
Scary nurse friends. I got scared by 2 nurses at 2 different
Yeah,
haunts.
we're a fan of the nurses. Well, we got nurses at House Scream too.
Yes,
so
and fiends.
More
yes.
nurses, I guess.
More the better. More the better.
Got like zombie nurse and dancing nurse and killed child murdering nurse, I guess. I don't know.
Different
types of nurses. All right, so Chamber Terror is amazing. It's really, really good. It's really, really long. Their finale, which I don't want to spoil for you, is just actually plays on one of my personal phobias. And I knew what it was going through because I knew from Courtney like what it was, but it still really caught me off guard. For whatever reason, I had turned my back when I was getting through that last part, and I turned around right when something was coming out at you. I don't really want to spoil it, but very impressive. And I don't to this day I still don't even remember the ending from last year, the finale, because I was so scared in this house when I went with Ashley last year. Like I was compromised in this house. Like everybody, I've never really had such a high amount of characters get me. And just like the Shallow Grave, they also post the line here, and it really feels like you are broken up. You, other than maybe crossing paths with somebody or you going down one hallway and then later on when you cut back seeing another group behind you, or if you're on the deck, you're probably not going to see anybody else in this haunt. So it feels like you've got the whole thing to yourself or your group. And they put the groups through in like very small groups, like 6. Maybe even squeezing like 8 or so in there, depending.
Yeah, we had 2 people behind, that girl and that guy behind us. Were they with us, or they just caught up with us?
I think
I think they
were
caught up with
running.
us. Yeah, they were.
I think they were so scared they were running. Yeah,
they were hightailing it.
Yeah. So
that lady was so scared. You remember we got past that ship and everybody was like bombarding us? I got up on top. I saw that poor lady get just cornered by us.
Yeah, this is this haunt's very entertaining to people watch. It's always entertaining to people watch, you know, because
especially Horror Nights of the Streets.
We do this stuff, so you know, we get scared, we laugh, and so whatever. But there are people who are uniquely or actually terrified of this.
Generally terrified.
And
of
a lot of the independent haunts, they don't give you refunds. So if you don't make it, you quit.
So just be prepared to get scared. When you go to these haunts, just keep in mind that you're gonna get scared.
Yes,
really bad.
You are going to get scared.
It's going to be intense. Trust me.
This is
keep
not a theme park.
Nope.
They're got to get you here.
They're going to get you.
Right. So 2 thumbs up. Chamber Terror. Make sure you do it. Put it on the list. It's really, really good. Really, really good. So, all right. So we're going to move on here. I do want to give a shout out. Here's a couple of pictures of some of the Q characters, including if you look on the right here, this is actually Kyle Vest. Kyle Vest was on Body Wars. So he's big into special effects and makeup here. So you can follow him at Kyle_Vest here. And I have to give a shout out to at Melvin Jr_SFX because that's the main makeup artist at the Chamber of Terror. And they did a really good job. Like, wow. Like you see these characters up close and it's very, very impressive. So you get to see, here's the nurse. This is the one that made her drop her phone.
That's the one that made me jump. Good job.
So Kyle Vest, very, very well known makeup special effects type person here. He was actually running around as this character.
He was doing a great job with his character. He was hiding underneath the beams to where you exit when you come down the stairs, and coming out in front of people and sliding right in front of him and scaring the crap out of them. He was so good. We were just all standing in the back just watching it.
He was intense.
Unfold. He was great.
That guy's flexible.
He was great.
He was waiting at the ending and people were coming out and they were laughing and they were like, okay, that experience is over, and then you get Kyle Vest jumping out at you.
And he was like walking backwards and
Yeah,
following
he's
this
doing
lady.
all
It
kinds
was
of stuff.
it was great to
Yeah.
watch. It was
So
great.
amazing job. Costuming's great. Everything's great. I would definitely put the Chamber of Terror on your list. Very, very, very good here. And let's go ahead and do the ticket giveaway for the Chamber of Terror. Might as well do it now. All right, so I'll let you. Now, this is going to be for 2 general admission passes for Chamber of Terror. What? Please, once again, don't live in Alaska because I want to make sure I get these to you. And as an added bonus, they've thrown in 2 wristbands for the Express Pass. So you can skip the normal line. And in this, once again, these haunts are extremely popular. They are going to get busy. So we always recommend, if you can afford it, to get the Express. But in this case, you can win Express. So Chamber of Terror, 2 passes, 2 Express wristbands. Okay, good for any night. So we're going to need a keyword from you. Clear your mind.
Okay.
Think about Chamber of Terror.
Okay.
Not spoiling anything. And give me a keyword.
I'm going to go with Captain.
Captain. Okay, Captain.
Captain, my Captain.
Captain, my
Oh,
Captain.
Captain.
No, just Captain.
Just Captain.
All right.
Just Captain.
So first person to put in the Captain in the chat. Now we should try to make it fair. So if you won earlier, let's give somebody another opportunity to win, or we'll give you your choice, I guess. There it is. Okay,
There it is.
Elara. So the person
job,
who missed out
Elara.
the first time, you're going to be able to get the Captain. So he put it in twice, or she put it in twice. I can't see your full name. Is that E? Isn't it your
Elara?
friend? E. What was that guy's name? That your friend E something?
Who?
What's his name? What's your full name?
Yes, what is your full name?
'Cause I think that's your friend that just won the tickets to Chamber.
My
of Terror.
friend.
Yeah. So
Elara,
congrats.
what's your full name?
Okay, I'm sorry. Kyle is the main makeup artist. I apologize. Somebody had to correct me on that. And then Melvin Jr. is helping him. Alyssa. Okay. All right. So we apologize. I thought it was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Well, she's got a profile pic of Horror Nights, so she must be cool.
That's really cool. You're automatically.
So
our friend,
get a hold of us, tweet us, send us a direct message, send us something on Instagram, email HauntScene@gmail.com, get a hold of us on Facebook. We'll get your contact information. We'll make sure we get these tickets to you. But remember, here's the calendar at the bottom left. So make sure that you go in and do that. Okay.
Good job, Alyssa. Congrats.
Yes. Good job, everybody.
Enjoy
Now,
your Chamber of Terror tickets.
We're trying to arrange something to give away every week. So I'm glad that some people tuned in tonight to get an opportunity to win these tickets. So we will definitely get them to you. All right. And for those of you that did not win the tickets, we do have something special. Thank you, Courtney, for setting this up. This is really, really cool of them. We actually have our own coupon code for the Chamber of Terror, and that's going to be HauntScene. So if you go to the chamberofterrorfl.com website and you put in the code HauntScene, you're going to get $5 off because HauntScene likes to save it at
Save
cash.
money.
Save that money when you're doing the haunts.
Save money.
Save money.
What?
Yeah, make it rain haunt money. Yes. Haunt cash. HauntScene saves you that haunt cash because we know that this stuff can add up, but it's totally worth doing. So make sure you use that promo code for HauntScene. We'll put that out on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll put that out there so people can take advantage of that. That's a really good deal.
That's a very good deal.
All right. Always flaunting the money. Well, this is fake money.
This is fake money.
So I don't really carry physical money. So yeah. All right. So use that HauntScene code to get the $5 off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chamber of Terror is
Saving
amazing.
you money.
I can't. There's
Chamber of Terror
creepy stuff to look at. The
great.
lighting is amazing. Really, really good. So I expect great things from them this season and in the future. So good job, Courtney. Good job, Bradley. You guys kicked some butt.
I was feeling so much adrenaline that I was just so scared. I didn't get a chance to look at everything.
I'm like,
but
it's
a rush. It's a rush. You want
know-
to see everything, but you're scared.
You know, a haunt is good when you get nervous talking about it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I was definitely nervous. Trust me. But a good nervous. It was a great haunt. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on here. We got a couple last things to talk about. Still got about 10 minutes left. So we're gonna start a new thing on the show, like a weekly. It's not really a contest, but because you're not gonna win anything, maybe just our eternal gratitude. But we're gonna start doing a weekly kind of photo thing. Now we didn't get a chance to set it up this week, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna post because we all do take photos.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna get a photo from me, a photo from you, a photo from Jake, and a photo from Danielle, and we're gonna do like the number one photo that we took of the week when we're out doing these different haunts, and so we're going to try to showcase that. But we also would like you to submit some photos to us. So you can give them, you can tweet them to us, put it on Facebook, send it to us on Instagram, or email it to us haunscene@gmail.com. And we did have somebody volunteer, or actually I asked them, and
Really
this
good
is
friend of ours.
kind of an example here. So we're gonna show
She
some,
is a
some
great photographer. By the way.
amazing photos here. So let's take a look. All right, so @_magic365_, which is going to be
Stephanie.
Yep.
She is a great photographer.
Takes the
takes
best
amazing
pictures.
HHN photos.
So I actually was going to do like one little collage for her, but it was too good. I actually had to do two. I had to break it up a little bit. So here are just some of the photos that she's taken from Academy of Villains, which she's a huge fan of, which we're a huge fan of.
Yep.
And they're very, very good. I love the photos. They're all really good.
Great show this past weekend, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah,
We were right up in front.
We got a
They
chance to
were
see the
great.
updated show. It was really, really good.
And they interact with you because they actually come through the crowd when they're
Mm-hmm.
going up to the stage. So they'll interact with you, post for pictures for you. They're great.
Mm-hmm. I got a
like
good
the
selfie
entire
with them. It's
cast
really
is
cool.
great, and I got
Yeah.
a great picture of all three of them. So
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
So everybody, Far Side,
Yep.
Victory Yellow, everybody, Francis, everybody, you guys are all amazing. We love you. I don't know if you're watching this or not.
We love you guys.
But, somebody said, is Academy of Villains the best thing about Horror Nights? And I'm not going to disagree with
I
that.
absolutely agree, 100%.
I love it. Even though it's not the full Afterlife show, it's about 14 and a half minutes long. It's so good. All right, so here is one set of pictures, and then here's some pictures that she took just around at Horror Nights. And I cannot take pictures like this. Look, I got a digital camera. I got DSLR camera. I can't take pictures like this. So she's got talent. This girl's got talent.
Steph, if you're watching, your photos are
get
amazing.
pictures
Thank
like
you so
this?
much for that. Every year she takes great pictures. Like
She's gonna have to teach me how to take.
Even her
good
pictures from last year were great.
Really?
Like, I want to learn how to take pictures like that.
Yeah, you should teach a class. Teach a class.
You should just teach us how to take pictures like that. Like
would agree.
I used your small camera at one point, but mostly I used my the camera on my phone.
Yeah,
They still come good, but not as good as that.
yeah, they're not
So-
like epic like these photos.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
All right, so great photos. Good job. Follow her on Instagram to see all these amazing pics and more. I just very quickly skimmed a couple, but she's got all kinds of amazing pictures all over the place. So she's really, really good. So good job. And we'll probably see you this weekend, hopefully.
hope to see you this weekend, Steph.
Just remember, if you want to send in pictures, go ahead and send them to haunscene@gmail.com. It's probably the easiest way. And hopefully we can get some submissions, and maybe we'll do like our favorite picture, and then maybe we'll do a couple runner-ups on the show. And like I said, probably won't have enough to give away for the shows. 1 second. We're being invited back to Chamber of Terror. Okay, so basically,
Awesome.
Courtney just texted me and said, "We didn't get you the first time. We want to give you the full treatment."
Oh, great! So they're gonna get us
yeah.
even more.
That's cool.
The second time. That's great.
I'm almost afraid to.
Me too. I have to brace myself. For
It's
this.
so
I don't
different
know.
when they know who you are.
It really
I just want to be an anonymous haunt fan.
It really is.
But then again, we wear the gear and we really ask for it.
We kind of flaunt ourselves.
Yeah.
With it, so
Yeah.
we're just asking for it, Johnny. We really are.
We
We're
are
asking for it.
We are asking for it.
Big time.
Yep.
The second time.
All right, and let's see, 54. Okay, so we're gonna start wrapping this up here. You guys are amazing.
Yes, Tina. Yes, for us.
We appreciate you watching here. Next week we are going to go to this Thursday we're actually going to go to the Screamageddon media preview, but I don't know if I can fit that and these haunts into a show. So we may or may not be talking about Screamageddon. We'll have to kind of see what we get out of that on Thursday, but I'm looking forward to that in Dade City. But we are planning on next week on the show, we're going to do covering Sir Henry's and Ominous Descent. Well, Sir Henry's is in Plant City. Ominous Ascent, unfortunately, the first iteration of Ominous Ascent was hit by Irma by a tornado and got destroyed, which sucks. But they were they Zach gave them a little. Zach, the guy who runs Sir Henry's, who's really really cool. We'll praise him next week. He gave Ominous Ascent like a little part of his haunt area, his land, to actually build their own third trail. So you got 3 trails, all really cool, all in one place. I did get a chance to do this on Friday. Very, very impressed with it. But once again, I don't want to put too much into these shows because I want to make sure every haunt gets a good amount of time to talk about it. So, yeah. So Sir Henry's and Ominous Ascent, everything we've done this year has been amazing. We've got all kinds of other stuff on the list. Still got to do a Petrified Forest. Still got to do Never Ending Nightmare. Still got to do Old Town, their haunts, Mortem Manor again, Zombie Outbreak. We got to do all kinds of
So
stuff.
much fun
The
this
Buckingham Terror haunt, all kinds of stuff. So we have lots of Vault of Souls. Still got to
We're
do that
just
one.
getting a taste of everything, which I really like. You know, it's a lot of good.
Yeah,
lot
you're
of good
gonna be
stuff to try.
an expert after this.
I definitely am. I learn from the best, Johnny.
Yep. So we like to do as much haunt coverage as we can, and
I want to try as many independent haunts as I can.
And then we're still gonna try to get down to Enigma. I'd love to go up and see Netherworld, although it's so far away, so far away. So we may or may not be doing that. Very very cool. So thank you guys for watching. It's 8:56. We're going to go ahead and roll credits here. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. That way you can get all the videos here right in your inbox, and then we'll remind you when the show starts. Remember, it's every Tuesday, 8 o'clock from 8 to 9, just taking up an hour of your time to let you know what's going on with the haunt world here in Central Florida and beyond. We talk about more than light bulbs.
More than light bulbs.
More than light bulbs. That should be our slogan for season 4.
More than just light bulbs.
More than just construction updates.
More than just reposting.
So once again, thank you to state27homes.com. Make sure you guys go to that website, check it out. Very, very cool. Thank you, everybody that was in the chat here. We really appreciate the interaction. So we're going to go ahead and roll credits here. But until next time, spook easy.
Happy haunting, guys. Thanks. Bye. See you next week.